It's July the 21st, 2016. Once again, I gotta look and see what the date is on that. It's just the way it goes sometimes. It's very hot here tonight, and so there's a few issues. My tummy is, the system is running really hot here right now. And that's okay. Maybe it's hard on that picture. Yeah, there you go, that's what it was. Oh. We got a big story for everybody tonight. And those stories are, those stories is what it's all about. Is understanding the details. I lost track of everything, so there's going to be a bit of noise while we're... Who knows for sure. Here we go. I got you. And so once again, just to recap, this guy here is Louis L'Amour. He's wanted for murdering Jeff Palco, one of our donors, and he harassed him so much he committed suicide. So Louis L'Amour is a confirmed murderer, but he's also a confirmed scammer. He's a confirmed scammer, and here's a clip of him 5 years ago where he found high radiation.
So as I mentioned before, you have to wait for this bar. These are 20-second cycles. You have to, whoa, that's really high, folks. At 1.2, you're to exit the area. That's 1.3. Now we have to wait for 5 of these cycles to know if it's actually, okay, dangerous. Okay.
And so, now here's the rest of that, because it's a long video, but look at the numbers on the Geiger counter.
Folks, just
and this is 5 years ago.
So those of you that were doubting if Fukushima is coming here on the west coast, well, I'm in Alberta already, and here we go, 0.68. I feel like I have to go through a car wash immediately. I don't know what else to say, really. I mean, obviously my car is saturated now, or my truck is saturated with high levels of radiation. I mean, the last ones were high. This is dangerous.
Okay. Last ones were high. That was dangerous. That's 5 years ago. This next little short clip is him calibrating a couple of weeks ago in my hometown with the same numbers that he found dangerous while raising money, traveling across Canada trying to control the narrative. And this guy, remember, he murdered Jeff Palco. Let's get that on the go right now. And we'll move on into...
Yes, it's radioactive. Yes, I shouldn't be touching it right now. You're absolutely correct. So I'll be doing a test later on. I've already tested them, but yeah, just to... Whoops. Gotta hit the reset. Alright, so yeah, soaps, same thing with the soaps, you know. Very reactionary. Okay, so I'm going to take that out of my hand, obviously. We'll do a test later on to calibrate them both. I want to grab this plastic here before.
Wow. So he's everybody across Canada and on the internet raising money, and what he was doing was he was goosing the Geiger counter. That's how he done it. He also is wanted for murdering Jeff Palco, one of our donors. Harassed him right up until he died, right up until he committed suicide. Right until committed suicide. I was on the ocean for 5 months in that stretch. And one of the committed suicide. I don't know why my video is jumping like that, but one of the donors committed suicide, and it turns out they were harassed by that same person. That's why I'm showing you that. Beware of that person. That's very dangerous. He's in Victoria. If you're in Victoria and you know him, you should call the police and send him to this video. And we'll be making one for Victoria coming up soon to really put that story out there. And we'll have a bunch of ghost accounts and we'll spam it out there like you can't even imagine. Just to make sure Victoria, everybody in Victoria hears his voice and sees that mug. My audio is jumping a lot tonight for some reason. I can hear it on my microphone. Okay. Let's get back to some of the craziest headlines you're ever gonna. was my audio again. And again. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, onward, upward. So we'll jump back over to 1. TEPCO ordered to pay for false rumors for from Fukushima's crisis. Let's check the audio, comment section. Hi everybody in the comment section. Let's run over and we got you on the other screen. That's where we're running into all these problems. Let's fix everything up and get rolling. Like you say, there's 150 counts in the Geiger counter. That's a live Geiger. That's a live Geiger counter. And hi everybody. Just fishing, cruising, rather. And the other camera is hooked up to the Geiger counter, so normally I can switch cameras and be looking right at you again. But we're on the external laptop that I got it piped in on a HDMI in order to so we can see your comments. Pretty cool guy, eh? Yeah, that's right. And just to say hi everybody. Tree Wolf, Mr. Arenas, Ed. Dirty bombs in the making. Fukushima exposed. Hi everybody. And I know nobody was expecting the stream, so I'm not really. Once again, Nathan, Tree Wolf, surprise edition. There you go, Nathan. Got the scoop. And also while we're here, IAEA today, which is June the 2nd, 2011, admitted there is no such thing as safe levels of radiation, and allowable radiation standards are based on benefit versions, not safety. And so what that means is they took natural radiation, like which is homeostasis, your body regulates, like the thermostat regulates the temperature in your house and the automobile. Cruise control regulates your speed. And so natural radiation works in your body that way, where it's your body regulates it. And so they took that data, they raised the limits at the same time, but then they used the justification based upon benefit. There is no benefit to man-made radiation. It's called a dirty bomb. They don't call it a dirty bomb for something to do, but there's no benefit. And so there's your whole hoax right there, right now, right from the get-go, right from 2011, was admitted there's no such thing, and there's not. And we'll talk about that coming up. But let's get back over. Hi, everybody. And just in case. Mr. Arenas going to lie down in the other room. Short notice it was. Yeah, hi, everybody. Let's keep going because we're chewing into minutes now and we still a little slack. And I'm not sure what I got done here. Not sure what I got done there. That's not what we wanted. Ooh. Mix effects. There we go. I couldn't get my screens up over here for me. Not one thing, it's many other things. Yeah, that's because I click without clicking. So, let's run over to this other screen. TEPCO ordered to pay for false rumors from Fukushima crisis. Okay, so false rumors, you say. Now, what's going on in this story is, and there's, when you think about this story, we'll get to that in a second. When you think about these stories, that's not the one I'm supposed to click on. I was looking for the green one. That's not the one either. 700 lights for people who died from nuclear. We're talking about atomic golf balls tonight. TEPCO ordered to pay for false rumors. A court ordered TEPCO electric company to pay compensation of $183,000 to a golf course operator's losses. And the plaintiff in 2011. It said, according to the rules, sales at the golf course, the second paragraph right by me. So this is all digital, by the way, folks. And I gotta have the doors open, so there's gonna be some background noises tonight because it's unbelievable hot here. We got the fan on me, so there's a lot of... That's that biggest water bomber in North America. They're doing drops, doing practice runs. And 62%, so the paragraph alongside of me, monthly revenues continue to decline year on year. TEPCO argued that the golf course was located far away from the power plant. And there were no concerns, the very top paragraph, of being exposed to radiation. The Tochigi Prefecture lies south of Fukushima Prefecture. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. However, the court rules the rumors were enough to keep customers away from the golf course in the 6 months following the accident. But the argument was by TEPCO was there was no radiation fallout. Therefore, they shouldn't have to pay the golf course. Okay, we're getting there. Now we're going for the fun part. Who knows what we're going to get here. 7 golf course sues TEPCO for lost revenue. So it wasn't, this was 2011. Another story I found about it. And I'll just bring up another one of those. But anyway, they regularly had 124,000 people visit the courses, but this year the number has dropped to 300 to 400,000. I think you know the difference between 300 and 400,000 people and $50 a pop. I think you would know if it was 300 or 400,000. You know, that's just me. But anyway, there's 25 golf courses, not just one. So let's keep going. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Anyway, let's keep going. I'll close that down. So, Tochigi. We'll come back to this in a minute. Tochigi, Japan bans radioactive green tea, you guessed it, from Tochigi. And Tochigi is quite a long ways away from Fukushima, as you can see in the map. Give you a second to look at it. And you can see where Tokyo is to. Tokyo. So any radiation that hit Tokyo had to go past, you know, Tochigi. It's not like the radiation respects your border, right? So radioactive iodine was found in the tap water, March 19th. So that meant, in order to get to Tokyo, had to go past Tochigi. But actually, I got better documentation than that. Yeah, no, I really do. Here we go. 1,800 becquerels a kilogram, July the 9th, and you guessed it, Tochigi City. Yeah. Okay. More than 8,000 square kilometers in Japan was contaminated. Now, cesium-137 is a tracer. That means everything else is dear. That's all that really means. And the cesium is bad. Cesium is really bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not bad. But it's just a tracer. It's not as bad as the stuff that they're using it. See, it's used as a tracer because they can find it. Wherever all these other isotopes are to, there will be cesium. They don't travel one way, and another one travels another way, another one travels this way, travels that way, those ways, them ways, these ways. No, not at all. They all go that way, and they all go at the same time. And so what they do is they extrapolate. So if it's cesium or if it's iodine, that was something really rude, but I'm not going to say it. Should write it down so I don't forget them on you. But anyway, let's keep going. So size may increase in the future. Fukushima Prefecture, that's kind of the breakdown of it. We're just warming up. Tokyo has, if you just joined us, we are warming up. And make sure we got the right graphics. Dana Drumford, nuclearproctologist.org is there. Okay. Meanwhile, back at the farm. Tokyo had the herd. What the hell is a herd, Dana? Well, like goats. But that's not what we're talking about, Dana. I'm talking about a third. Highest cesium levels of all testing locations throughout Japan, and a large amount of radioactive dust fell in Tokyo. and fell in Tokyo. It was all over. Game over. Didn't have to come again tomorrow or the next day. Just had to get there. That's game over. That's the problem. That's why we're worried about dirty bombs away from nuclear waste sites. Is why we spend trillions on security. And so where? Oh, you know, everywhere. But meanwhile, so large amounts in Tokyo. And in order for it to fall in Tokyo, it had to go past this place here. Pasture grass contaminated with cesium above safety standards. So it would have been 100 times more strontium-90 there. The reactor's biggest production is curium. The fuel rods, not iodine, not cesium, but they're tracers. They're tracers. Let me see, what can we use for an example for tracers? Tracers like the perfume on your wife, say. And she just left the room, you just walked in, but you knew she was there even though you didn't know she was there, but you knew she was probably there because you smelled her perfume. Does that make sense? Or say someone's in front of you and you can smell their perfume. That's a tracer because they're actually right there in front of you. That's a tracer for them. Okay? No, probably not. I'll find a better one. I gotta come up with a good one for that one. I gotta figure that one out. It's like having a banana stuck up your butt and somebody else is trying to get another banana up your butt. Okay, that don't help the things at all, Dana. That's an inside joke, by the way, about bananas, potato chips, and walking in the sunshine, man-made radiation. I'm not going to go into this second, but I'm sure I'll scream if I do. Cesium contamination stretched to Japan's west coast, over 30,000 becquerels a square meter in Nagano, 250 kilometers from the meltdown. There's a pretty map of one. Notice how they don't name the cities in English in that map. Lister Hertz. Oh, we don't want to do outside world, I understand. But, yeah. All through Japan. Chernobyl, 37,000 becquerels was a contaminated area. Get the freak out of there. You're done. It's all over. And rightfully so. A lot less than that. And that would equal out to 5 millisieverts? I can't remember. But 37 becquerels, let's look at it this way. If it's in your food and you're in Germany, they package it up and put it on a nuclear waste site. Bye-bye. And if it's 17 becquerels a kilogram in France, they box it up and put it in sophisticated, highly indestructible temperage during our lifetime anyway. After that, everything goes out the door. But puts it in special containers and stores it. In North America, we don't even blink because we're stupid. We're morons. We've been led around by the nose so much we don't even know what to do. We're like the mule. At some point, we're gonna kick down the side of the barn and become free again. Former special advisor says Japan too scared to tell people the truth about Fukushima. Too scared to tell people the truth about the Fukushima future. Yeah. Professor blah 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 says the government is too scared. Former special advisor to the Japanese Prime Minister said, "It's all over, man. It's all done, man. It's all gone." 27,000 becquerels a kilogram. But remember what this story is about. It's about a golf course where they say there was no radiation, but the rumors, because of the rumors, TEPCO got to pay him money. But in reality, it was full of radiation. And like, see, the golf course, when the accident happened, the big spenders at those places are members. They grabbed their children and moved off to their summer cabin in Osaka or wherever. You don't have a membership at the golf courses in Japan unless you got stupid amount of money. Just because you're an engineer or a doctor don't mean you're getting in, okay? Unless you let your wife do strange things for them. New radiation results from elementary school, Nagano, around 20 times normal, 1.7 unisieverts an hour. It should be in becquerels, it should be atomic decays. Hang on one second, I gotta fix that bugging the crap out of it. Already made it worse. That's what happens when I touch shit, it gets worse right away. 270 kilometers from the meltdown. Tokyo hit that award at 1 unisievert an hour. That game over. That's all you're supposed to get in a year. But see, what they talk about you get in a year is irrelevant. That's what everything on the planet got at the same time. It's irrelevant. We're acclimated to that through genetic superior selection. And so it should be atomic decays, becquerels, like some of the numbers I was showing you before. We'll show you again, I'm sure, coming up here. New contamination map shows cesium deposited over 900 kilometers from Fukushima, but the golf course got $185,000 for rumors. Because if they admit that there was radiation there, it's bye-bye to Chibi, or however you pronounce that. I can't even remember. The headline should be sitting right there, but we'll find it in a second. Most of these headlines are on that community. 500 kilometers anyway. Let's keep moving. Baby food maker ignored the infill, so all the babies ate it. You only got to eat it once. That's the problem. And then the cancer is the last one to show up. All the diseases will show up decades before cancer. And there's around 1,800 of them, including Alzheimer's, dementia, autism, heart, liver, lung, respiratory, pituitary, adrenaline gland, diabetes, and everything else shows up. So anyway, this food maker, that should be banned, boycott, divest, and sanction that creature. Iodine one, and like just because it's low numbers, say, France throws your food away at 5 because you bioaccumulated. Germany, rather, at 5. France is 17 becquerels before Fukushima. Who knows what they're doing now? But pre-Fukushima. Because you got these atoms in your body that are decaying every second. Your body is attacking it with white blood cells for decades. Every one of them. The more you get in, the more white blood cells have to go out and attack that spot, and those spots, and these spots, and them spots. And there's old trouble coming down the pipe. So 187,000. Now what was good about this story was that September the 7th. This is not a good story, don't trust me. But it's a good story to articulate what the issue is. So 200 kilometers away, they're still getting iodine 131 with an 8-day half-life. It meant, that's a tracer, by the way, and it meant everything else came through. Right? But it also means that there was a chain reaction to create that. And so it was constantly coming out. It was constantly. I have no idea what I got done here. Let me get this. Hang on. But TEPCO was ordered to pay I got that in my giggity now, so I can just paste it every time I want it. Pretty cool. And once again, remember, they paid them for false rumors when in reality they weren't false rumors. Decontamination zone could be larger than expected. It could spread to Tochigi. Tochigi. Oh, Tochigi, little Tochigi. Tochigi. Oh, Tagachiri. Tagachiri. Everybody's like, Dana's lost it. Poor Dana. He was such a good guy. And then all of a sudden one day, he couldn't do it anymore. He got to that word, that magic word, Tochigi. Everything went bad. Not as bad as these guys. 16.8 unisieverts. Like 5 sievers will kill you. Dead. Done. And per hour, unisievers coming at you from man-made. That means you're inhaling, ingesting, absorbing isotopes. This is not from a few. Like, see, unisievers is the lie, right? That's how they lie to you. It shouldn't be in unisievers. If that was in unisievers, you crap yourself right now. I don't know what the translation is. See, unisiever is like 100,000 becquerels. I can't. Don't quote me for goodness sakes. I'll be beat. This is 100,000. 300 times over cesium limits in wild mushrooms. Oh, you guessed it. Tochigi Prefecture. Oh, Dina, but you're spreading harmful rumors. Dina? No, I'm not. I'm reading a headline. And 3,100 becquerels a kilogram is like over the top. Now, mushrooms aggregated, just like berries do. But hey, it was just a rumor for the rest of it, yeah? Unexpected finding revealed in Tochigi Prefecture, 17 times radiation limits in front of schools. It just keeps going. 5 million becquerels a kilogram and no decontamination. You can't eat the food that's grown there. No. But it's okay for you to live there. That's what they're moving people back into. You can't grow food there while you're there. Huh? You can't buy the food that they grow there for some stupid, idiotic, moronic, dim-witted reason. You sacrifice people to go in there and grow it. You sacrifice people to go in there. You're not supposed to be in there. They don't call it dangerous for something to do. They don't have nuclear waste sites because they don't have limits in Germany and France on 5 becquerels in Germany and 17 in France before they package it up and throw it away. Because it's harmless. That's a lot of money, time, energy, and effort to do stuff like that. They do it because it's cheaper than if they get cancer and it gets linked back. Which is hard to do, man. Yeah, it's almost impossible to do when it comes to the nuclear industry. The nuclear PR firms, these are the most harmful people imaginable. I don't know what to make anymore of people like that. I don't know how to explain it properly, what a nuclear public relations spokesperson, a comparison. Like I can draw pictures and compare it to people that we know throughout history or events throughout history. That doesn't do it justice. That doesn't resonate for me at all to compare them to mass murderers or something like that. That mass murder, I'd rather have a neighborhood full of mass murderers than anything with a nuclear degree, anything with a nuclear scientist attached to it, anything like that. Because these are the most maniacal people imaginable. And they go up on TV and radio and media and tell you it's like a banana and a potato chip and walking in the sunshine. The universities don't hold them accountable. Their own family and friends won't hold them accountable. They all sit home and laugh at the misery they create. 30 microsieverts per hour. There's nuclear scientists right now sitting here watching this, laughing, knowing that these children are done. There's no way to escape the damage and the pain coming in the future or immediately. 150 kilometers from the meltdown. Now, there's another way we can look at this to try to articulate it. Anytime you're ready, Dina. Just like get it on, Dina. Yeah. I don't know about your day, but my day gets pretty confusing sometimes. That's not the one we're looking for. It's all gone to hell now, mister, in a handbasket. Hang on, bear with me, folks. This wasn't supposed to be as hard as this. This was not supposed to be as hard as this. La, 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 la. So I was supposed to, I packed it all in here earlier today so I can do the show tonight. And instead, I smoked up, obviously. Just see if I can find it. No, we're done. Okay, let's keep moving. That's shocking, I can't find that. I had everything there to articulate what I'm talking about for fallout. But we got an old standby we could use. Austrian forecast for March the 18th. East of Los Angeles. So one way past Tokyo and all the way to Los Angeles. And I'll bring this up in a second. I'll find it. Latest forecast is all of California. It kind of looks like that. Forecast high concentration over California, way past Tokyo, yeah? It looks like that. North America, Europe, these are all, you know, this is France's Institute for Radiation. All these major institutions, Norwegian Institute. But look at the model. That's crazy, see? But no, Dana, don't worry about it, Dana. It didn't happen. 5 million becquerels, 30 microsieverts an hour in Tochigi. But, you know, of course, what they're going to say is that's just a false rumor, Dana. Okay, let's keep going. Hot zones described in Miyagi, Iwate, Tochigi prefectures, not just Fukushima. Man, oh man. Let me see. I know how to get around. No, I don't. I got everything ready to go and I can't find it. That's horrible. There it is. See? Dina knows what he's doing. Here's one from Japan's TV about to fall out. Let's explain that for a few seconds. When you're ready, Dina. So now it just hit North America. Dina, don't click shit, Dina. Okay, I'll play it. Boom, just hit North America. Japan is to your left of your screen. It's gone across North America. It's all the way across in the width of the Pacific Ocean. All the way across North America within a couple of days. Then it's right across the width of North America, halfway across the Atlantic. There's a steady plume coming all the way out across the entire Pacific at the same time, across the North American continent and Canada, at the same time Mexico. At the same time, now it's headed across. And this is within a couple of days. The date and the time is at the top of your screen. This is March the 26th. It's halfway across. Now it's in UK, European. So there's a steady plume right across the Pacific Ocean and the entire width. And then across the entire continent and the width of the continent of North America. And then across the Atlantic and the width. And this model is only based upon a single isotope or two. And it's just based up on a couple of days releases. It's not based up on the actual meltdowns, the melt-throughs, and the meltouts of the reactors. And each of these are major events. Each of these are step up. Each of these are like meteorites coming at our planet. Now, then it's all the way across the European. Okay, so here's another model I want you to think about. So not only was Tochigi, but look at the plume racing around the planet, the northern hemisphere. This is a 40-day plume. The Geiger counter in my top right hand is live. And so 141 counts per minute. And the Geiger counter is missing about 6 counts per minute of the isotopes that is registering, but it can't register, you know, the majority of the isotopes, or 99% of the isotopes. Is only measuring just a couple of emitters. So that's how you would look at that. So the isotopes that are in the model right now are based upon just a couple of days releases that were vented, but there was no way to vent it from these. There was no way to vent it from these reactors. I repeat my sentences when I hear a skip. I have to contact the company, find out what's going on. Let's keep playing that. We'll come back to the headlines. So not only did the plume get all the way to Tokyo, this is NOAA's model, the American government's model, just based upon 2 isotopes. They admitted were released, but not from meltdowns, melt-throughs, or meltouts, and not from the reactor cores, the 5 reactor cores. 10 years worth, are on the roof of each of the buildings that are now destroyed. And just to recap on that, Fukushima, 9.0 earthquake, big tsunami, banged into 400 kilometers of the coastline. You had meltdowns. This is Unit 1. It used to look like this. The fuel pools were at the roof. All of that is gone. That's confirmed. It's all gone. This is Unit 2. It's confirmed it's all gone. That's what it would look like. This is Unit 3. And it would look like that normally. It's all gone. This is unit 4. They tore it down to nothing. And if you see that yellow thing there on the corner, that's supposed to be in the center at the very top of the reactor. And so the reactor is gone, obviously, in number 4. And we showed you those forecasts. Let's keep going. We'll come back over to the headlines. I can find out how to get back over to the headlines. So, Tochigi definitely got some radiation. It's definitely not a harmful, just a false rumor, I can assure you. Rumor spreading in Japan says leukemia up to 7 times from last year. Champion wrestler who trained in Fukushima diagnosed. So I got the cancer numbers from Japan for 2012 was an increase of 864,000. You know? And the thing about thyroid issues in children were 1 or 2 or 3 per million. And in 2012 showed 13,600 out of 40,000. Not 13,600 out of a million. That alone would be frightening, because it's normally just 1, 2, or 3 out of a million. It was 13,600 out of 40,000 children. So if you had tested a million, frightening, see? Let's keep going. Outbreak of antibiotic-resistant mycoplasma bacteria. This was the same one we seen in Chernobyl affected the people and workers. Remember Kofi Annan, right? 3 children. What the hell, man? 3. This is a study from Japan, by the way. So in 2011, control group 0, and 2012 36% in the study. But the study was 13,646 do out of 24,468 don't. So roughly, not quite 40,000. So I'm underestimating when it says that. But anyway, it's usually 1, 2, or 3 out of a million, not out of 40,000. And we'll show you that after. Data showed a large spike in deaths, particularly infant deaths, in the 14 weeks following the Fukushima meltdown in North America. And 22,000 Americans had heart attacks. And inhaling just one radioactive hot particle can cause a cancer. Well, look at this model. This is a model. This was the Norwegian Institute for Air Research, but the Japanese actually used the same model. And Japan is right by me, look. And so all of Japan is covered in radiation immediately. So all I'm trying to say is that it's not a harmful rumor at all, see? For that golf course, right? That golf course got more than he was entitled to in one sense. Because he kept enticing people to come there and play golf when it's not safe, and he knows it. It's all about the money. They should abandon it like the members did, see? I can understand you not wanting to abandon it, but because everybody's lying to you and telling you it's like a banana and a potato chip and walking in the sunshine. But the people who convince you to abandon it, to not abandon it, that's the people that you need to hold accountable. You've got to go to universities where they get their education, or take them into the court for litigation. It's up to you. When they lie to you, you got to go after them. When they impacted you and you can show the harm, and you did. So the thing with this one, U.S. bans agricultural from 14 prefectures in Japan. That one fly, I found that maggot a couple of days ago, and I brought it home. Just kidding. And raised and waked me up. And she's a joke, just me fooling around. From 14 prefectures. 14 prefectures. Now I know people are going to look at me and say, Dana, you're a sharp dresser, man. I always clean this, and shiny, and well ironed. Pay $3 for that, and $3 for that. I don't have a piece of clothing that I paid more than that for. It's all second hand. And then I iron my clothes every day for everything. I'm going out, I'll iron it. I'm shooting a video, I'll iron it to make it look presentable. If I had a really good camera, you see lots of stains. Everything I got is shit. And I like it. I got no issues with it. So they banned the agricultural from 14 prefectures. That's now they'll lift that, but they should never lift that. That tells you the extent. That tells you the reality. That tells you about the event. That tells you how much is spread through. And that also tells you that everybody, including Tokyo, all the way north or south, or north, to the very end of it, is highly radiated. But we got the numbers, like I'm showing you tonight, that the rest of it is highly radiated. Let's get through the rest of that. Unprecedented situation of radioactive pollution from Fukushima disaster. Intensive areas in Tokyo, downtown Tokyo. And officials they say health assistance for kids and pregnant women is needed. Yeah, if I remember correctly, TEPCO wanted to give them pregnant homes. I don't know why my friggin' audio is doing that. I got no idea. That's really bad. But oh well. Pregnant women get a free new house if you move back to Fukushima. Now if my wife come home and told me, hey honey, we got a brand new house, or we got a free house in Fukushima, I say, well, who told you that? And I say, okay, well, let's give him a call. I go down there and shake his hand, and I break his nose and rip his fucking ears off. What else are you supposed to say? How dare you do that to people and their children and their fetuses and their unborn babies like that? How dare you? How dare you do that? I get so upset. It was 9,000 degrees Fahrenheit inside, can't be detected with Geiger counters. Yeah? I don't think it would matter. But we're talking about the stuff that gets loose. Uranium plutonium takes the 239, 238, 241 in particular, been studied heavily on dogs and every other animal. And every animal has died in every study. Like they say nuclear is carbon free, but what about the millions and millions of studies about radiation? How much did that cost? Do the math on just 1 million for 4 years. Studies. They've studied radiation, man-made radiation, more than they studied all the natural elements in our universe. Because there's a lot more of them. And they never run out of dogs. So 9,000 degree Fahrenheit temperatures is consuming the rocks, the steel, the rebars. They'll be gone and atomized and aerosoled and ionized and radiated. And then they're released back into the environment and they look like that. And you breathe that and it's game over. You inhale that, it's game over. You eat that in your food, it's game over. You get a shower and that is game over. But the game over is 10, 20, 30 years down the road. At best, if you just happen to visit North America for a couple of days when that was happening on. If you're still here, it's 7, 8, 9 years. In the dog studies, it was the first year, the 3 years, heavy deaths, but within 5 years, all the animals died. I can assure you no study is going to turn out any different. So this is 9,000 degree Fahrenheit temperatures every day, consuming rocks and steel and rebar, cement or just gravel or water, and coming in contact with that fissionable uranium, liquid uranium, and plutonium, coming in contact with that stuff, and atomizing, aerosoling, then becoming ionized. So like a screwdriver become radiated or magnetized by putting it on your battery, and you can endless screwdrivers on that battery and magnetize them. For years and years and years with that one battery, just endless screwdrivers all day. That's all you do is magnetize battery screwdrivers on a battery. Well, that's what radiation does, though. That's what material does when it falls down on the melted reactors and comes in contact with the fissionable product. Is it becomes ionized and radiated forever, just like screwdrivers. It becomes magnetized from a battery. And then it's released into the environment, and it spreads the same way as the original meltdown did. So as long as you're in a chain reaction, that is happening. As long as they're in a chain reaction, our atmosphere looks like this. Our upper lower troposphere is already saturated after 5 years. And we won't stop sending in the homeless and the destitute. That reminds me, we got another story we're supposed to cover here tonight that I better start covering. Otherwise I'm going to forget about it. See, this was France's model. It's only based upon a couple of elements from a single release. It's not based upon all the elements or all the releases. It's not based upon the reactor cores above Unit 4 and Unit 3 and Unit 1 and Unit 2 that are now emitted they have all melted down. They all caught fire. They all blew up. We got the pictures. We got the documentations. We got the information. We got an incredible, unimaginable diversity of that, a smorgasbord of that. We got thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of studies on radiation, man-made, that we have covered. Hi everybody. Hi Elaine, Pam, Alex. We used Alex's song in the video yesterday. That clown circus music. What I done was I increased the volume for each skit, because I had like 20 skits, was it, or something? And it's just each one. You notice how my video got stuck on 182. I woke up this morning and around noon it jumped to 184, and then a couple hours later to 197. I got 20,000 subscribers. I mean, that's censorship at its worst. Hours and hours and hours stuck on 182. You can go take any video right now with 181 and click on it. Don't even watch it. Just click on it and then look at it in your subscription. It'll have 182. But it won't get stuck there. It'll show up right away all the way up till 300. What they're doing is they're censoring everything I do. They made me take down 300 of these presentations. I was arrested and demonized and vilified in the media, if you're not familiar, for making these presentations, for telling you these stories, for explaining to you the significance. Hi everybody. L.A., Brian, and Alex had created that music, by the way, folks, if you're wondering where that music came from. It wasn't me, it was Brian, or Alex Burnshaw, is it? I can't remember, I gotta see his name. Yeah, Burtonshaw. I haven't got my glasses on, so I'm probably screwing up. And Elaine, and Pam, did I get everybody that time? Mindy, hi everybody. And my apologies. Aquarius is out there somewhere, and Nathan, and everybody else, Hyperboreal, Tree Wolf, anybody I don't get, I'll probably get you. Miss Frill is there. She never stops, folks. She got an amazing website. She got low audio there. Darn it. Looks good on my end. Looks good. I got it bumped up to where it's supposed to be. I'm afraid to bump it up any higher. I guess I could. Watch your audio, folks. There it goes. Check, check, mate. Let's hope. But it's also because I play clips in the background, and they might if I turn the volume up. So I did notch it up quite a bit that time. Okay, let's keep going. Hi, everybody. Thank you for finding the time. My apologies. Candace, Thomas Ackerman, and Thomas doesn't stop. Josh Bailey. Yeah, we ended up. We'll get back into the regular shaking, moving. Coming up. You got to realize how burnt out I am. You got to realize how hard I work, how endlessly, relentlessly. Man, I tell you, I'm not going to. Just do the work and not worry about it, Dana. Don't think about it. 70% of the children tested are contaminated with radioactive cesium. All of them from outside Fukushima Prefecture. And pregnant women used for decontamination activity after Fukushima disaster. Like, what are you supposed to do when people are like that? Should we send pregnant women into Hanford? Into 3 Mile Island in the Chernobyl? Where's the police protecting the unborn child, the infant, and the loved ones? Why ain't the police arresting these people for doing this? Why ain't they just snatching them up and sending them in there as day workers? The people that are doing this should be sent in as day workers, right into reactor 3 and reactor 4, so we don't have to worry about them anymore. It makes me sick. Had a Fukushima health study, 100 millisieverts a year, okay for pregnant moms. You can get a free home, you move back there. That don't mean you get to have a baby though. It's sensible. What about you have a baby that's deformed? Then they take it and send it to to the Los Alamos laboratory. Everything that they find like that goes to American Los Alamos laboratory. They'll come dig your body up if they think you died of radiation inhalation. If they think you were where an accident was too and you got a big dose, when you die, they'll come find you. They'll dig you up without telling your friends or your families or your loved ones. They'll steal your body. They'll cremate you, and they'll test and see where that radiation, how much was in you, and killed you. Just so they can do a peer-reviewed study, have that data. My cigarettes don't have 7,000 chemicals, and is that not a good thing? But the reflex is, Danny, you have the cigarettes, so you must be bad. But mine don't have 7,000 chemicals. Let me repeat that for you again, because I know some people are really thick. My cigarettes do not have 7,000 chemicals. And I don't smoke cigarettes like the average person smokes cigarettes. I smoke once in a while. Literally. And if all you do is watch my videos, you think I smoke all the time. But that's besides the point. For pregnant women, and so that named third sentence from the top, the second sentence is headed by a Dr. Shunichi Yamasaka, who at the Atomic Bomb Research Institute, he's the Radiological Health Safety Risk Management Advisor for the prefecture. Excuse me. He's widely shown on national TV. He speaks widely in the prefecture, always saying there's absolutely no concern the levels of radiation in Fukushima. So why? Now he says that even mothers exposed to 100 millisieverts, pregnant mothers, will not have any effect or health effect. I'll come back in a second. So if you go down about halfway up, my finger disappears, I'll go any higher. So a couple of sentences above my fingers. The effects of radiation do not come to people that are happy and laughing. They come to people that are weak-spirited and brood and fret. This is a direct quote, and he's heading the study. He's the guy in charge of the study. And he's a doctor. With the atomic bomb research. Now, the atomic bomb research on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, they only check the exterior for 70 years. They don't check they don't check for inhalation. They don't check for food ingestion. They don't check for the water through your absorption or drinking or anything else. For interior, they only check the exterior for 71 years. You know why? I bet you do. Because they're monsters. They are monsters. Go read the story yourself anyway. There it is. Head of the Fukushima study, 100 millisieverts a year. See, millisieverts should never be in millisieverts or unisieverts or microsieverts or microrems or millirems or anything else like that. It should be in becquerels. Atomic decays, actual atoms. How many atoms is 100 microsieverts? Each atom can give you a cancer. That's why they don't tell you it that way, see? Makes perfect sense when you look at it that way, don't it? High radiation levels found at possible Olympic site. Japan professor. All of the okay, like bananas, potato chips, and wagon and sunshine. Such a pie hole. Horrific health toll from Fukushima. Impossible not to suffer, to be moved by the scale of deaths and suffering. Thousands. If you're lucky, look, Kofi Annan shows 3 million children with permanent disabilities. 3 million children. The 600 helicopter pilots at Chernobyl died. Over 1 million deaths attributed to it from 5,000 Ukrainian-Russian studies translated through the New York Medical Institute. Published it. Just, Number of dead babies significantly increased in many areas of Japan. Remember what I showed you earlier? Data showed a large spike in North America too, particularly infants' deaths in the 14 weeks following it. Yeah? And inhaling just one hot... He's not the only guy out there saying that, but he's one. He is one, but he's not the only one. Come back over that other one. Oh, we only got 2 left. We got 5 minutes to kill. Carbon-free nuclear. Danger, see that one up there? Danger scientists, BC Canada, muscles full of cancer tumors. If you haven't watched it, that's an important video. And here's a fish sent by one of our friends here in British Columbia. James Goss. Does anyone know what's going on with this fish? He's a fisherman, West Coast fisherman off Vancouver Island, not very far from Victoria. And when he pulled the gaff across it, it started bleeding. But he's a West Coast fisherman. Look at his deck. You see that wood? You see the deck? The big, thick fiberglass decking hatches? You see that? That's from wear and tear. That's hardcore. That wooden deck alongside of it, that's hardcore. You know, like a boat like that looks like that, that's because it's a work boat. And he says, what the fuck is that? Excuse the language. Okay. Now, let's wrap this up with another headline we got sitting. 3 years retention. 3-year retention. This is a study, just came out, Oxford Journals. In the UK, is it? 3-year retention of radioactive cesium in the body. Now this is time with the glass particles, the sulfur peroxide, hydrogen buckyballs, that are created from spraying salt water. There's this reaction, like I was showing you headlines earlier, 9,000 degree Fahrenheit temperatures. When they were spraying salt water down on top of these molten reactor cores that were melting down into the earth, gone out of the building. This is desperation for the media. This is all this was show and tell. But everything was already blown all over the site. These people just got death sentences. There's over 10,000 or 5,000 Fukushima workers with over 10,000 counts per minute. 40% of the, like I showed you earlier, of the visitors to the hospital had counts. 3 years retention. So, let's scroll down that. It's just a synopsis. And you got to be part of, you got to have credentials in order to read the rest of it. Direct measurements of 7 highly exposed workers. Now, they kind of claim that they got the uptake of cesium just once. If you're working, there's no way to avoid it. Not only that, if you're close to the fuel rods, anywhere, it's gamma shine and beta shine and alpha and neutron beams. This will go right through a 15-foot cement building. There's all cement. Shine right through that out the other side of it and give you cancer and melt your organs in a matter of 20 minutes. You'll be dead right there on the spot. This is why they're going through all the homeless down there. And they claim there's 7,000 people working on the site. We don't got no evidence of that. They've never provided any kind of evidence of that. But anyway, that study, they talk about the glass balls, the insoluble cesium particles. So it's the sulfur peroxide hydrogen buckyball ingested the cesium atom with the isotopes in them, the atom. Everything that comes out of a chain reaction is man-made isotopes. It might have the same atomic name and number or something in nature, but that's not... They done that to fuck you over, to fool you, to trick you, to deceive you, manipulate you, to treat you like a piece of shit, to spit in your face, to laugh at you, to humiliate you, to ridicule you. That's why they do that, see? These are vicious dogs. A nuclear scientist is the worst thing imaginable. I wouldn't trust it with my pet hamster, let alone around my family members. Particularly, I wouldn't let a nuclear scientist anywhere near my children. Any nuclear scientist. You can't trust any of them. The bad apples have spoiled everything. And to become a nuclear scientist, you got to sell your soul anyway. You got to be willing to lie for the industry to get a job. or you don't get no job. You can serve them coffee at Starbucks if you're lucky. They'll probably even blacklist you there. Once you got a degree, now let it open your yap. That's what you got if you're a nuclear scientist. You just got a yap, a pie hole. That's all you got. You got no substance. And you definitely haven't got any kind of a morals. How many nuclear scientists come out now and went to bat without lying at the same time? And that's the end of it. Now see, with the software I got, I can go like this and change pages. Or I can put it down here. Or I can everywhere I'm to, I can go like that. That's another thing. Here would play a video. There would flip a video. Here would bring out a picture. Up here would bring out a sound. Right there. I can put it wherever I want, as many as I want. Well, I'm live streaming and utilize it. But who can remember all that? Oh, it's here somewhere. Hang on a second. I'll get it. But I can designate it, and then I can see it on the graph up here in my other window you can't see, with a box, different color boxes around it. So I just reach up like I'm touching a button, literally. You visually see it in the screen. But that cesium is huge. You know, because during the time of tracers, those workers ingested everything else. They didn't just ingest cesium. When you hear about people who got cesium in or fish or something like that, like, you gotta be stupid to think that everything else. You have to be crazy to think that everything else is not there, to not understand it. But it is understandable, because all you generally hear is nuclear scientists will lie to you and say it's not there. All of those studies are like that. That study didn't bother showing you everything else that was there. No, they only had cesium, Dana. I'll bring it up. I screwed up today. Here's the study. 3 years retention. I got a tendency to be going crazy, but that study, 3 years retention, let me show you something for you. Dr. Raymond Gilmet, I'll get it to once. Who knows what I got done now, eh? Oh, I know. Dr. Raymond Gilmet, from Loveless Respiratory Research Institute in New Mexico. We just ended on that. 144 beagle dogs, like every other study. See the fourth sentence from the top? 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 years after exposure. You got that one, 3 years after exposure. 3-year retention. Okay. And then you got this one. Oh, not that one. This one. 3 years after, tumors of the lung, skeleton, and liver occurred beginning about 3 years after exposure. Bone tumors found in 93 dogs were the most common cause of what? Oh, I don't know. Death. Lung tumors found in 46 dogs was the second most common cause of what? Oh, I don't know. Death. Liver tumors were found in 20 dogs, but were the cause of death in only 2 dogs. Occurred later than the tumors in the bones and the lungs. So the liver tumors comes after the bones and lungs tumors. That's kind of interesting to know. And tumors in these 3 organs often occurred in the same animal and were competing causes of death. These findings in dogs suggest that similar dose-related biological effects could be expected in humans exposed to plutonium and all the other nasties that we are exposed to all the time. Okay, let's come over and say goodnight to everybody. And I know it was another one of those impromptu live streams, but I have to work on this today. Had a rough day, not a rough day. We went over by 3 minutes, did we? Where's everybody to? Here we are. And once again, Adam and Candace and Shaniken and Fukushima exposed. If you don't test it, you won't find it. That's a fact. Tree Wolf and Kate made it tonight. And Kate is working her way down to the Cascades. And she's been stuck there now for a month or more. Hi, Shani. Below, I can't pronounce it. Real life. Healthcare has turned to death care. Real life. And everybody. Shani, which is Elaine. People hear me saying different names. It's the same person. And I know there's lots out there watching Nalix and the Hyperboreal and everybody that I did. And Lawrence Taylor. Hi, Lawrence. And then we got... And all of these comments will be gone after the video is posted. Google gets rid of all the comments, and there's lots there. I'm not going to go all the way up. We already said hello earlier, so we'll leave it at that. And just make sure, hi Nathan. Yeah, you never know, Nathan. It's just so hot the last couple of days, we're kind of burnt out. You're welcome, Shawnee. Shawnee can sea story, Dana, when you're a bit younger. Okay, we'll end it on a sea story of when I was a bit younger. How about that, folks? A little extension, it doesn't hurt anybody. What kind of story should I tell? Well, let's picture Dana starting his career and turning into a young boy instead of a man, but I thought he was a man. He was 13 and it was blowing pretty hard, and we're heading out on the back of a little 33-foot boat called a Mark 10. And it has about 7 tubs of gear on it. And the tub of gear got around 400 hooks in it. There's a hook every 6 feet tied on to the ground line. And we're going to the Atlantic Ocean where the average ground swell is 30 feet. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, up eating breakfast, heading out. Around 20 minutes later, over to the wharf. The boat's tied up in front of your house. You can go look out and see it. And you go over to the wharf and pick up your gear from the cold storage and head out on the ocean. It's a couple hours steam. And then I get on the back of the boat, and as we're going down the ground swells, I throw hooks over the back of the boat that are tied onto the ground line. And so when I do that, I throw like 3 hooks overboard. And I reach down into the tow where the hooks are flying out, find a spot where I'm not going to get hooked, and throw it. And so lots of these hooks have come up and smashed me. They got frozen bait on it. They don't give you a black eye, or rip your hood off your head, or rip your jacket open, or rip it off you. All kinds of weird stuff like that over the years. I used to carry 4 knives with me. And so when I was 13, this is what I'd done every day. I got up every morning at 3 a.m. By 3:30, we were heading out to harbor. I was steering. Everybody was gone down to the bunks. And we had a little 20 Lester diesel back in those days. All you needed was a 1/2 inch and a 9/16 wrench. And so it was me and my dad, my brother, and we go out and we fill the boat completely, fish on every hook, and we'd fill the boat up with fish, and then we head back in, unload it. And you would get the man-of-war jellyfish on your gear, for instance. I got seasick every day, all day, so I puked up all day. But when you're pulling gear, you have to keep the strain on it, so you puke over your hands and puke into the tote if you had to, but you couldn't let go of that gear. If it fell off, all these hooks would shoot out and hook up into people and sweep them over the side of the boat. And we've lost a lot of people in Newfoundland that way. And so 11 years doing that. And then in my spare time, when I was 13, I had a speedboat, my own speedboat, 10-foot, flat bottom, with a brand new 15 Johnson on it. I had a gas account. I had 3 guns. We didn't have supermarkets, so if you didn't shoot it, you basically didn't eat it. And so if it wasn't on the ocean, I was out hunting ducks, or turs, or murres, or egg downs, or any kind of bird. And then I had rabbit snares along the coastline, so you go moor the boat on the shore and climb up and check your rabbit snares. And so when I was 13, I had a beer account, cigarette account, gas account, and I had 3 guns and a speedboat. And I was going steady at that time for 13. It was really innocent. And I couldn't drink beer. I used to go pick up a half dozen beer and charge it to my 17-year-old brother. And so I wasn't very old before I got sick of drinking and sick of that world. But every day I got up and went to work. And every day I finished my job. When we came into the wharf, I kissed the wharf. The wharf would be covered in fish guts and slime from all the other fishermen and make some people puke when I was doing it. But everybody knew I was going to do that. And everybody would have to speak, wait, here he comes. Here comes Dana. And I'd hit the wharf and climb up on the wharf. And everybody would either puke or laugh, roar. And for 11 years, that is what I done every time. That's all logged in to the logbook. My dad logged in everything like that. Dana's seasick halfway out to harbor. That'd be a rough day today. That's all logged and then submitted to fisheries each year. And so there is an actual written history of that. Yeah, those 11 years. Hugs for everybody. I'll catch everybody on the next stream. And we don't know when that's going to be. But we're trying to get back to normal. Remember, you got to try to help me out if you can. $5, anything. Donate. At the Nuclear Proctologist, you'll find links under my videos directly to the accounts. For credit cards, nuclearproctologist.org. You can find a donate link there. It's legit. And then, same thing with PayPal. You'll find a link below my videos. It's danadurnford@hotmail.com. And when you think about the things that I do and want to do and can do and should do and could do and would do, you'd understand why I always ask. And if you know me very well, you know I have to ask. Hugs for everybody. Take care, folks. We'll see everybody.